tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
In like a lion or like a lamb, out like a goat. That's greatest offer of all time with Sherwood Honda. And while there's plenty of goats on the lot, you can also custom order yours. Pick your Honda model with the color, interior, trim, and technology for the ride you've always wanted. Sherwood Honda can help you build and price your new Honda to make it the greatest order of all time. Pre-ordering sure would be simple and satisfying with help from Sherwood Honda.
You haven't set your lineup yet, right? It's Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:01. Good morning. Thank you for tuning into Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas with you. Here we got Josh Fenwick and intern Mackenzie. We get you through the next hour here on Sports 1440. The show brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Headphones are going crazy right now, so I'm just going to take them off. I think somebody used them.
Carius said he was having some sort of issues with his headphones, so maybe it's the jack.
Was it fuzzy?
I think so.
I don't want to battle through it right now.
Kevin only mentioned it right off the hop of the show and didn't again the rest of it, which is rare for him. If he finds a problem, he vocalizes.
He's a real professional, though.
Oh, just battled through. That's what it's all about. Now you're going to try and do it.
Now I got to do it. I sound so weird. Like we might have to get something done about this.
Is it only your voice or is it all voices?
Just me. Just me.
Really?
I was quick to blame someone for using my headphones. It's not.
Which is probably still true, but.
Well, they were really, like, for those who don't know, headphones have, like, these extenders, kind of, for fatheads like me. And it was squished all the way in. So, kind of feels like someone might have been using them.
Like a baby was wearing your headphones.
Yeah. Not my baby. He also has a big head. But a normal baby sized head. Or just a normal human-sized head. Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
There's our qualms to start a Monday show.
Fed up Monday. I'm just trying to get over how I sound in the headsets. But hopefully it's coming through okay. I think that's probably...
Sound good to me, Cons.
All right, beautiful. Well, lots to discuss here on the show today. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers. 3 games coming back from the Olympic break. They go 1-2, score 17 goals, but as we mentioned, just winning one of those games, I guess that helps when it's an 8-goal performance they had against the LA Kings on Saturday afternoon. Not great. The fall to the San Jose Sharks. Some very mind-boggling plays going out there. And now we'll turn their attention to Tuesday night. We'll take on the Ottawa Senators down at Rogers Place just after 7 o'clock. Brady Tkachuk in town. Heard you guys talking a little bit about him. Of course he's getting booed. Of course, he has to be. For the role he played, every time he touches the puck, he'll be booed. Should be an interesting game. I heard you guys talking. Your Houston Texans bringing in David Montgomery. That's
some Munty moves.
That's a pretty nice little move. That shows Joe Mixon See ya.
There's no way he's playing again, let alone for the Texans, maybe ever.
Yeah.
Like this whole season, the mystery around his injury, and we never saw him starting to ramp up towards getting back out there. So I was like, yeah, we'll see another week. We'll see another week. We'll see another week. Never saw anything. So I have to think he's done, and the team seems comfortable moving forward with now going to be sophomore running back Woody Marks, DeQuain, one of those two. He had a great rookie season. I really liked what I saw, especially for a mid-round kind of unhyped type pick. Acquitted himself pretty well. You pair that with Montgomery and what we know he's capable of as a pass catcher, as a goal line threat, where the Texans were terrible last year. I really like it. And you talk about what you give up, retool another offensive line that was pretty bad again for most of the season, and try again now with another new running back in the fold.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a guy who's a good player, maybe for the Detroit Lions, go rookie or bring someone else in to pair up with Jahmyr Gibbs. But I like that for your Texans. Still going to be questions about the offensive line, I suppose. But you moved on from one of your, is it your tackle or guard?
Both
Both
this morning, because they traded Titus Howard to Cleveland,
okay.
He played left tackle, right tackle, and guard last year, but he was primarily a starting right tackle. And then Juice Scruggs was an interior guy who was in this Montgomery trade, according to reports. So, yeah, they seem like they're going to be probably maybe spend some money in that front. Almost certainly address it in the draft as they did last year with the new left tackle, Ariante Ursary. Had a pretty solid rookie season in the position. A lot of struggles, as most rookie left tackles do. Yeah, they're going to try and rebuild that again, essentially, just like they did last year, where it was almost a complete turnover.
You and KK were talking about Anthony Richardson, and you guys don't believe he has a future in the NFL?
No.
After all the quarterbacks we've seen go and learn and come back, you guys don't believe? Sam Darnold saw ghosts. Now he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Sam Darnold was an excellent college quarterback. Was at one point thinking I'm going to be the number one overall pick that year. His only problem was that he went to the Jets.
That is a problem.
That is a problem. We know these things. These are what we know to be true. Like when you talk about Richardson, what did he do in college that warranted him being a fourth overall pick besides be 6'5" and fast and like bulky?
The perfect quarterback
like
body.
Yeah, physically the perfect quarterback.
He had one really sick play where he spun around and then threw it deep downfield.
Yeah. So when you factor like this, the pedigree isn't there for me to believe in him the same extent maybe we did a guy like Sam Darnold or something. And then what we've seen in the NFL too, like there's essentially nothing there for me to like, apart from being able to throw it. Here you go. He can throw it really far.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, if I am a team that needs a backup quarterback, like, I would be all in on him. Like,
like who?
Minnesota Vikings.
Well, apparently they're in on Kirk Cousins.
Well, that's great. Kirky 2 Chains or whatever can go there. And they'll have a legit controversy about who should start at quarterback.
Between Cousins and Richardson?
Yeah.
And then J.J. McCarthy just on the outs.
No. They'll be, sorry, I spoke too fast. Cousins and McCarthy.
Oh.
If you're bringing in Cousins, you don't need Richardson.
Well, no, maybe they bring in both. Competition. They send J.J. McCarthy to the Jets.
Well, that's not going to help him. It's the Jets.
Who cares? They don't care if they're getting rid of him.
Yeah, but I don't think his stock is, maybe. Anyways, I would take a chance on Richardson. He could come, with Chargers move on from Trey Lance, send him to the Texans for, I don't know, one of your corners. You don't need to. And then we'll bring in Richardson as the backup. Like, take the Trey Lance role.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Hey, not trying to dog I haven't seen anything at the NFL level, or very few things at the NFL level to like say, yeah, I could see him having a Sam Darnold type turnaround.
Oh, would you have said that about Sam Darnold 3 years ago? Remember, he was bouncing around.
Like the Carolina Sam Darnold?
San Fran?
Well, but he was like back up there or whatever. He's not even playing. But yeah, it's fair. I don't know, but we have the hindsight of him now winning a Super Bowl and seeing the.
Did you think Daniel Jones would be a guy that could get a team to the playoffs?
He already had.
Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. But like, I don't think too many people.
No, I thought the Giants were dumb for giving him the contract they did. I also thought they were cutting bait on him, given like the rest of the Giants situation. I don't think it was very fair what happened to Daniel Jones out of New York, and it took a little humility to go and just sit there behind a Minnesota team for whatever, a half season, not even, and kind of hopefully have a guy like Kevin O'Connell wear off on him a little bit, and worked out pretty well for him. Injury unfortunate, but yeah. Hey, I'm about as far from an expert or football quarterback scout that exists out there, but I don't know. It's just, call it a gut feeling on the Richardson thing, that I just don't think he has it.
Now we just wait and see, because it looks like it's done in Indianapolis. He's just it, and I would probably say, for me, I'm probably too like optimistic on all these guys. Like, I thought Johnny Manziel would get a few more starts.
Oh,
in the NFL.
you and me both, brother.
Like I was thinking he's got to get another opportunity. But
I wanted the Texans to take Manziel first overall that year.
What year was that?
Was that not the year they took Jadeveon Clowney? Which also didn't work out very well.
Were those the same draft classes?
Could have swore they were.
Dang, are they the same age? I mean, I guess Manziel was playing in the CFL like 5+ years ago, so time flies. That would have been an interesting pick for you guys. Probably would have cost just you guys a few jobs.
Clowney went first, and Johnny Manziel went
22nd that year.
Did I scroll past it? Oh yeah, right there. Oh yeah, I was looking to have on the Wikipedia page the little gold background to indicate he was a Pro Bowler.
So Jadeveon Clowney, Khalil Mack, Jake Matthews, Mike Evans, Anthony Barr. These are the Pro Bowlers alone. Odell Beckham, who had a Hall of Fame start to his career before the injuries. Aaron Donald, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Not bad.
Zach Martin, first ballot Hall of Famer, probably. A really good class. You can see why a lot of teams passed on Johnny Manziel.
Well, and I remember the story being, because who did the Cowboys took Zach Martin at 16.
Yeah.
They essentially had to like lock Jerry Jones in a back room so he wouldn't go out there and pick Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Stephen Jones we're doing offensive line. Hard to
worked out pretty well for him.
Hard to argue with that one. But okay. I honestly in my mind, Jadeveon Clowney is way older than Johnny Football, but clearly not.
Both lit up the SEC that year.
Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney.
It was just
who did he hit?
I can't even remember who he hit, but he put
Mike
him into
Hart?
another dimension, and that essentially was like, that guy's going first overall.
That might be like, if you think of like one hit in football,
that might be it for me.
That might be
that,
it.
or Sean Taylor hitting that kicker at the
Mormon
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, maybe like one of Ray Lewis's plays, crunching guys across the middle.
Was it him or was it Lewis or the other Ravens?
Ed Reed
hitting Ocho Cinco, and Ocho Cinco tries to block him like in the middle of the field.
That was Ray. Yeah, we all mic'd up. I tried to block Ray.
Yeah,
not a good idea.
Can't even breathe.
Great mic'd up. Corey says Richardson would be the perfect backup to Fields. Both can run and can't throw to the open receiver. I'm telling you, though, big play downfield, they got the arm strength to do it. He's 6'4", 245.
Big dude.
He's an absolute giant. Richardson's going to look good in a Tiger Cats uniform. No, he's got the arm strength.
Well, that's what Kevin said. CFL is potential too, but also when you can't make the easy throws, like CFL is supposed to be a pass-first league, does that bode very well? I use the example of Trey Ford just for recency and local bias. Now, Richardson has a lot more physically tantalizing elements, size and arm power than maybe Trey Ford does. Trey Ford's really athletic, but the point remains, I think he would struggle. You got to make the easy throws, no matter what league you're playing in.
Trey Ford ran a 4.45 40-yard dash.
That's pretty
fast.
fast.
At the pro day. Richardson was 4.43. That's 6.
At that size.
At that size, it's incredible. He's a huge athlete. Could he make that switch? A Terrell Pryor type move, quarterback to receiver? Would he do it? It's a big ask.
It is a big ask.
And he's only 23. He'll be 24 in May. So I wouldn't want to give up on him quite yet.
If he could do it all again, does he go back to college for another year?
Oh, absolutely. You got to get starts. I think Sam Darnold would too. Mark Sanchez. Go back and look at those guys. Sam Darnold only had 27 starts at USC.
Yeah.
2 years. Great 2 years, like you said, enough to be taken third overall. Could have been the first overall pick. But I just look at like Bo Nix. I mean, he played forever, and we all make jokes and everything. But when it came to playing at the pro level, he was a captain year one.
Yeah.
Led the Broncos. Justin Herbert was a 4-year starter. Obviously, the plan wasn't for him to start until Tyrod Taylor got popped in the chest by the doctor. I think it's a great thing to have those quarterbacks that play for, at least 3 full seasons as a starting quarterback. MTR says that kicker deserved it. He was lollygagging at the Pro Bowl. How dare he?
Funny.
Sean Taylor, what a beauty.
Back when the Pro Bowl meant something.
Yeah, it did. First step, get it back to Hawaii.
Yeah, at least
that's step number one.
Make it desirable for the players to go.
That's what I heard.
Here you go. Here's 4 tickets, all inclusive or whatever it is for your family, a couple of your kids, parents, whatever you want to do. Make it desirable for them to go.
And you hear the stories. Like the football was one thing, practice, but it was like the pool time, hanging out with the guys. Like that was what it was all about. Having a few pops. Maybe the rookie gets the tab, even at the Pro Bowl. It was like those are the kind of things that made it as good as it was. And now you send them to Orlando or whatever. And honestly, I didn't even know they were playing that game. Then I used to be a huge Pro Bowl supporter. Even when it was on the decline, I was watching it every Sunday before the Super Bowl, getting mocked openly.
This year it was like a Tuesday before the Super Bowl.
It was so stupid. It's really gone downhill. I mean, we need to bring it back with the Sean Taylor mindset. If you haven't watched Sean Taylor highlights, go watch him right now. Absolute stud for Washington. Combine also wrapped up, Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how big you were into the Combine. Did any player stand out? Anyone you want the Texans to take now because they ran fast?
No, not in particular. And we talked about like Anthony Richardson as an example, a guy of that size that can go that fast. It almost seems like that's sort of the norm now. We're talking about some of these linemen, whether on either side of the ball, they just have huge bodies, both height and weight, and the physical element is tantalizing. But then all of a sudden you see how quick they are and how good they can move. It's such a far cry from however many years ago you want to pick about the evaluation of linemen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought some of the more interesting storylines were ones that didn't really come from necessarily the evaluations or the physical evaluations, like the Mekhi Lemon interviews and stuff. That made some waves. It was really weird and a little out there. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for a wide receiver. Sometimes those turn out just to be they're just a little bit different, and that's what you want from a WR1. Then sometimes those maybe turn out to be Antonio Brown, and they're a little too out there for
over 6 years, though.
Good point. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but otherwise, no, nothing really stood out too much to me apart from just the fact that everybody's can put up good numbers, it seems, these days.
Yeah, kind of Mac Hollins almost.
Yeah,
that was like, as long as it's not a off-field problem, you take the quirks. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end for Oregon, I think he's made himself some money here.
Where are you thinking he, like, I mean, situation's going to matter, but like, is he top 10 pick all of a sudden?
I don't know. I think top 20.
Okay.
I'll say top 20. But he looked good. Is it Dylan Thieneman, just sticking with the Ducks, their safety? Milk check. He can run fast, though. People seem to like him. Kenyon Proctor was another guy, the tackle from Alabama. Big dude, probably like, I don't know, third tackle off the board. But I remember Chargers fans getting all excited, like, could he be a guard? Could he be moved inside? And that's with the quickness and everything like that. You get him pulling. Ooh, that'd be interesting. But the Combine, I don't know. It's not something I hone in on all the time.
You don't want to fall in love with a player too much at the Combine because these are just drills, essentially, right? And I know you've been long a proponent of, hey, these are great to put quantifiable numbers to a speed, to a height, to a wingspan. None of that really matters when you have the film to either back it up or disprove what some of these raw data figures tell us.
Really, like, so much. Like, okay, he has a 4.3 speed. What's his yards per reception? 7.8. Like, okay, well, is it the offense or is it just when the pads are on, he can't beat press coverage and he can't get deep?
Get a little physical up at the line or something. Like all these things matter, right? Route running, like, speed in a great line is perfect, but how often is that actually applicable to an NFL game to just run a go route?
Exactly.
It's pretty rare, especially when they know that that's all you can do. It's pretty easy to take away.
Just get him outside. Yeah, exactly. Just disrupt the route just a little bit. And I mean, it's funny because the NFL's been doing this for a long time in that certain way. But you watch the CFL Combine with pads, and it looks goofy, but That's how they should be doing it.
Right.
Right? Like let's throw in the equipment. Let's do that. Do it. Take it down that route, I think. Cal's just texting in about Oilers making moves with the cap situation. We'll talk about that when we return here on Fantasy Frenzy. Text line is 1-833-414-1440. Any moves you want the Oil to make ahead of Friday's deadline, we'll talk about that and more. Fantasy Frenzy brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Okay, how about you give us your star winger for a bag of pucks? What if I throw in some Wilhauk beef jerky?
Yourself a trade. With Wilhauk Beef Jerky on their side, the Alberta teams definitely have an unfair advantage this trade deadline. Pick up some today and use it for trade leverage in your fantasy league.
No way, man. It's way too good.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win trades with salad.
When my husband and I said until death do us part, I never expected to find myself at the doorstep of divorce. I was facing an uncertain financial future, expensive lawyer bills, and most importantly, I was concerned for the well-being of my kids. My spouse and I turned to Fairway Divorce Solutions for help. Fairway walked us through a step-by-step process, allowing us to develop a clear roadmap to resolve financial concerns and provide a proactive co-parenting strategy. It helped us avoid chaos and courtrooms.
For a no-cost consultation, visit fairwaydivorce.com.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
You started wearing it to guys' night.
Nice toque, you hoser.
Then you started wearing it to work.
Nice toque, you hipster.
But the truth is, you're not a hoser or a hipster. You're just trying to hide your hair loss. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and for over 2 decades, I've used the latest techniques to help thousands save their hair, including my own. Come see me today to explore your options. By the time it warms up enough to take off the toque, you could have a head of hair you won't want to hide. Go to drvanceelliott.com today.
Considering an EV, Subaru is the right choice. Discover their latest electric vehicle innovations, starting with the brand new Solterra, in stock and ready to test drive. Or the Trail Seeker, an EV at its core, a Subaru at heart, and built for adventure. Or the uncharted This Sporty, all-new small compact SUV brings new levels of driving enjoyment to the all-electric space. Right now, Subaru is offering interest rates as low as 0.49%. Welcome to electric. Welcome to Subaru.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
'24. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc. Tell them we sent you. The text line, 1-833-401-1440. Of course, you can always email us, Connor at sports1440.ca, Brandon at sports1440.ca. We're not on YouTube right now. At least our faces aren't. Maybe we'll get Brandon to turn that on so you can see us. That is part of the appeal, from what I've been told. Duke, you were babysitting over the weekend, hey? You had control of 3 kids under the age of 5?
Yeah, 4, 3, and 1.
Man, exhausting. You slept good Saturday night, I bet.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
I got back yesterday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want it made clear that I was very rarely alone in this ordeal. I was usually along with the children's father, my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And Brother Wilson had all the meals ready to rock, and we went to the curling rink in Erskine to go watch their mom, my sister, other sister, and my mom play. We had supper there the one night. So I had a pretty easy go of it by, call it babysitting standards go. But also, it's just like they just never stop moving.
It's true.
They're just all the time. And the 2 older ones, they always want to do something, and then they're like competing with each other. And for some reason, my nephew, his favorite thing now is just like, hey, Uncle Brandon, want to fight? And then we just wrestle. And then my niece gets into it, and she wants to wrestle too, but then they're wrestling with each other, and I'm like, they're going to hurt each other. And I'm trying, yeah.
You got to wrestle them both.
I got to wrestle them both away from each other, even though the one's trying to be on my team when we're wrestling. But whatever. So, and then meanwhile, while all this is happening, the 1-year-old is like wandering around, trying to find things to pull off of counters or climb shelves. And just, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Shrek the Third, Connor. When he's having the nightmare about all the little baby ogres, and they're all just doing stuff, and he's crying, he's still getting overwhelmed, and then he gets completely swallowed up by this horde of baby ogres.
Yeah,
that's how I felt at times, which is totally unjustified because it was just 3 kids who are actually like very well behaved. But I'm just not cut out for it. Those 2 days were enough for me. That was enough for me, brother. So, but hey, I love spending time with them. They're great. They're so fun.
I mean, we just have the one, but like I have so much respect for you parents out there that have north of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, anything greater than 1.
It's like Benny will just you like you said, just trying to pull stuff off the counter, and like whatever it is. Oh, there's Kleenex. I'm gonna rip this into 1,000 pieces. Like that's the way the mind works.
That sounds like my cats.
Yeah, you get that. But yeah, well, I'm glad you made it out alive. Glad was it Brother Wilson was there to kind of supervise as well?
Yeah, like my whole role while my sister was away for the weekend in this curling bonspiel was to like make it easier on so he could carry on with farming thing, getting everything fed, they're calving out cows, getting ready for a bull sale this spring. So just so he could try and still do things sort of normally, I was just there as like a distraction essentially to keep an eye on the kids for an hour or 2 at a time in different stretches. And listen, we got through it all relatively unscathed, but I'm tired.
Relatively.
I don't know how my sister does it on a day-to-day basis.
Shout out to those parents.
Because then she's also doing a lot of the farm work stuff too, along with her husband, and the grandparents always help out. But it goes without saying. Shout out parents.
Shout out parents. Single parents as well, man. What a grind that has to be. Also, just on the topic of parents, congratulations to the voice of the Bakersfield Condors, Ryan Holt. He and his wife, partner, had their 2nd child.
Whoa, way to go, Holty.
He's still on the job working. I'm like, hey, any chance we can get a blank player? And he's like, oh, let me check. I've been away from the team. I'm like, don't don't worry about us, spend time with the family. But congratulations to them. That's absolutely awesome. Now let's go into the inbox for elksnation.ca. Two weekly podcast with Eddie Steele, Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth double E football coverage you're going to find out there. Eddie back from Mexico now?
Not today.
Just not with you guys.
I think he's on his way back today.
I saw his post. Looked like a great trip.
Jealous.
Soaking up the sun down south, but he'll be back on Friday with you guys. And of course, two weekly podcast with Declan Kruger. elksnation.ca, articles and more. Just quickly, Dan Rosen, a friend of the Kevin Carrier show, said he's already talked to the kids about possibly being traded. His son, who is 7, said, well, I'll stay because, I have a hockey team here. I didn't get traded.
This was Vincent Trocek's
His
kids?
son, yeah. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah,
my team didn't trade me.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang around the Big Apple, Dad. Have fun in Carolina.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick around here. Yeah, Trocheck, obviously, 12-team no trade list. Essentially, just cuts out the Western teams because it's understandable. I mean, it's a honor, a privilege to play in the NHL. But if you can control it and minimize travel and stay out east, where your family's going to be, I get it for him.
I never blame players for either not putting teams on their list or putting them like on a no trade list, declining to waive for certain, like you're the team or maybe the team previous, like you were aware of this when you acquired them or signed this deal, that this was a part of it. Nobody forced you to give them a no trade clause. That's their right. It's 100% within it. So I never look at the players and say, oh, what a loser. He's cutting off half his chances of finding a place to play to win. I hope he has fun staying in New York where they're a terrible team. Like, who cares? It's his choice. Let him make it.
I wonder, by doing so, Radko Gudas famously no Canadian team, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the report. I don't know. I won't say it's 99% accuracy
well
because we
documented.
don't know. But you've seen it a lot in the NBA where players get traded to Toronto because there's no trade clauses. So was it Pat P back in the day gets traded to Toronto within hadn't even got there yet. I don't want to play here. Talking to my agent, I want to leave. Lands in Toronto and walking down the street ends up talking to some guy. Where do I get a jacket? And this guy just being the good Canadian, helped him out. And he's I kind of fell in love with Toronto, the people, everything about it. So by just wiping it out, you might be losing out on a good opportunity to learn something new and potentially play on a good hockey team. But also,
so let's just say, let's take Vincent Trocek as an example. He says he will only waive for a team in the Eastern Conference.
Which is you don't want to go to Anaheim?
Yeah, New York.
The Rangers are there.
New York Rangers West, all your buddies. And he doesn't end up getting traded to Salt Lake City, to Utah, the Mammoth. Now, sure, he could have an experience like that Raptors one you just described, where he ends up falling in love with it. By all accounts, great ownership, communities, the city's growing. It's an awesome place. Team's competitive, so that's awesome. Or you get there, you don't mesh with the coach. All of a sudden, you find yourself not having a lot of fun playing hockey.
Which could happen anywhere.
Your family's on the other side of the country. There's potential for positive, but then all of a sudden the negative happens. He's not a pending free agent, right? This is a guy that would essentially be stuck there. The only alternative you would have is to demand a trade. How far does that get a player a lot of the time?
Really depends.
So it's like I said, I never fault them. That's their choices to make. They're maybe missing out, but they're also maybe saving themselves a potential hassle as well.
He's got 3 years left after this deal. That'll take him to age 36, I believe. 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 35. That's 36. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. And we've heard it from almost any former NHLer that played East and West. You live in Philly or whatever. Sometimes you just hop on the train. It's an easy commute. Teams out west, Edmonton especially being north and west, there's going to be extra mileage. So,
oh yeah,
such is life. 1-833-401-1440. Nails says, no one's cut out for it. Talking parenting. It gets cut into you. That's true. I think that's true. Cal texting in, boys, how will the Oilers make any deals with the cap situation? All these no movement clauses have come back to kill us already. Is there any way to move on the back end? And do they look at Wallman? I know he just signed, but contract is already ready to age bad in a couple of years. What about Ekholm? Well, I guess, Cal, the way I would say is if you see that, opposing NHL GMs probably see it too. Do they want to take that contract on for that length? The Oilers are probably they're in no position to retain salary. So I don't think so.
The hope in terms of making moves, their hope is to rid themselves of the Andrew Mangiapane contract, which will free up a few $1 million.
3.6, yeah.
That paired with the potentially Matthias Janmark's money being available if he's not going to be able to play again this year. Yeah, it's going to take some really creative maneuvering if you're Stan Bowman, which unfortunately, for the most part, this is a problem of his own making, at least in the present time. He signed Wallman to this extension when he still had a year left on the deal. Now, he did not sign Darnell Nurse to this contract. That goes back a couple different administrations of Oilers executives, but it's still a problem at hand, which handcuffs them, right? Forget cap flexibility, roster flexibility. When you need a sign-off on any of these deals to move them elsewhere, it limits you. And if you're Darnell Nurse, it's been made pretty clear over a number of different instances that he doesn't have any interest in going to play anywhere else. So I'm right there with you, Cal, to make, into the last part of this question, Matthias Ekholm, is that do you think that improves your defensive situation, is trading half of what's been your reliable pairing here for the past couple months? Like Matthias Ekholm, really slow start to the season, as was the whole team. Bouchard, really rough go of it through October. But I feel like since the team showed that kind of little turnaround just before into Christmas, from there on out, I think there's an argument to be made that Ekholm and Bouchard have been two of your best players, forget best defensemen, on a night-to-night basis. They're still not without their mistakes and lapses. That's part of the game. But when you compare it to that second pairing of Wallman and Nurse, man, they look like a pair of, forget Norris Trophy candidates, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipients. So it's been a rough go for Wallman and Nurse, no doubt about it.
Yeah, we know cap's going up next year. Doesn't help you as much this year, obviously. It's going to have to take some creativity, some maneuvering, maybe having teams retain salary, which is always going to cost you more, whether it's going to be a prospect or draft picks. It's going to be an interesting couple of days because there's a few spots the Edmonton Oilers certainly could upgrade. Trev says, I'd like to see Oilers make a move for a more consistent defensive play. Maybe trading for a defenseman will help. But everyone, including forwards, need to figure it out in their own zone. It's March, and they still have to find that game they're looking for, and they still need to find that game they're looking for. It's mind-boggling. 100%. The defensive lapses. It's just, and I think what makes it extremely frustrating is like, this is not your Ducks 2 years ago, Duke, where like a team on the rise.
It's a team full of lottery picks and a couple veterans saddled around it, where
that's been to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals. We know they can play this way.
And also,
but they're just not.
We've seen it, and also they have that expectation in house where, like, yeah, this isn't a team turning a corner out of a rebuild with still some kinks to work out. This is a team that entered this year as, I believe, co-favorites from an odds perspective to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
or shortly behind the favorites, maybe depending on what books you were looking at. So after back-to-back Cup years, this looks like a very drastically different team. We've said that before, as recently as back in October to start the season. Notoriously slow starters, notoriously slow out of breaks, which we're coming out of the Olympics here. They return home tomorrow night against a Sens team that is clamoring for playoff position. Hey, I think there's a very strong indication that the solution, if there is one, has to come from inside that room, because everything we just talked about, the roster limitations, the cap limitations, resource limitations to make ads. I don't think there's going to be some savior parachuted in here to turn the season around, whether it be another goaltending move, a defenseman, top line winger, however you want to phrase it. I have a hard time seeing that happening because of everything I just listed out about what the Oilers are up against to try and do so.
Yeah. Are you going to bring in a forward with that's going to play more than McDavid and Draisaitl? No,
I doubt it.
So those guys got to be strong. They're lines. Let's say they're lines. Like that to me, they start doing it, everybody else will follow. And we know they can do it. Like I said, we've seen them go on runs where they play incredible hockey defensively. 2 straight Stanley Cup final runs. They can do it. But when's it going to happen? Because you can't just flick it on, I don't think. You got to keep going to ramp it up a little bit here. Sean says, how or does Mangiapane being in the AHL affect the salary cap? What gives him $1 million? Right, Duke? You can't, I think that's the max, unless anything's changed in the last little while, where he'll still be, if 3.6, it becomes 2.6. So you can't just bury contracts in the AHL for cap reasons. It's just $1 million for each player, assuming they're making more than $1 million. Hi, guys. I believe Bowman, or fingers crossed, a new GM needs to ask Nurse to waive his no trade again this summer. If he refuses, tell him he's not playing. Thoughts from Craig and Red Deer. So if you're Darnell Nurse and I'm Bowman, Duke, Darnell, I'm going to trade you. I need you to waive your no movement clause.
Where are you trading me?
Doesn't matter. Just waive it.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Present me some options, and then I'll consider it.
So Toronto,
pass.
Montreal,
maybe.
Let's just say he refuses. I really like
Okay.
Edmonton.
Pass. Yeah, I've played my whole career here. My family lives here. This is where I've made my home. All my best friends play on this team.
In the wedding party for McDavid. and Draisaitl.
I made the commitment to this team to be here for 8 years, and vice versa.
We're not going to play you then. You're still going to get paid fully.
Check's still going to cash?
Yeah, check's going to cash.
All right, then we'll see how long that lasts for you.
That's to me how it goes. Like, you can say it, you cannot play him, but
you still have the $9 million
still
on
have
your
that
books,
cap it.
and is at times, and this year it's been most of the time, how ineffectively he's played 22 minutes. He's still playing them. Who else is going to play them? Because once again, those $9 million are still on the books. You can't bring in a replacement.
It's like Bo Akey.
Congratulations, Bo Akey. You are a top 4 defenseman. Go nuts. Yeah. And does that serve the Oilers better?
Would you rather have Darnell out there? You got the money anyways. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure when when Stan Bowman was hired, that had to be one of the big things. Like, hey guys, this is something you do have to work around. Like, lock this in for the next 4 or 5 years, because he does not have to leave, and if he wants to stay, he's going to be playing here, and it's going to be against your salary cap. There's nothing you can do about it. So work around it. And this is kind of what they've done. But Craig, I just don't think maybe he's willing to. Maybe at some point he kind of says, you know what, maybe a change of pace, a change of scenery would be good for me and my family. But like as Duke portrayed, where am I going? Has to be the right fit. Does that team want him? We've seen firsthand, pro scouts around the league have seen it too. Like, he's not a $9.25 million defenseman, and you have to take that on. Plus, he'll be older than he was when he signed it. With age comes a decline in speed sometimes, probably his best strength. So I'm not saying it's immovable, because we've seen it happen, but it's going to be tough for sure. Traveling Salesman says, hey guys, do you think there is a world where Bowman just stands pat, let some of these contracts age, stockpile draft picks, if possible, retool and reorganize for next season? I mean, Duke, you talked about that being an option.
Yeah, it's an option. Could it happen? Yes. And the way I would see it happening is that nothing materializes, right? They maybe find someone to take Mangiapane for the rest of this year. That get like they make that, because that's the move that has to happen first here, right? Before anything else, is you have to find a suitor for Andrew Mangiapane's contract. Then after that, you knock the door on some right shot defensemen, some third line centers. You bang around, and all of a sudden, all these teams get better offers elsewhere, and they don't bite on any of yours. Then, yeah, in that scenario, the Oilers are kind of left standing there with nothing in their hands but goodwill. But to say that Bowman and company would go into this week with that approach, I do not see it happening. I just can't envision a situation where you have a team with the best player in the world, second, third, fourth best player in the world, a upper echelon defenseman on the back end. All these things considered, you've been to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, and you punt on a season. You haven't had a catastrophic injury a la Pittsburgh Penguins, where you're going to miss your captain for a month plus. You have Kevin Fiala for the Kings, even after they went out and got Panarin, which is just such a kick in the you-know-what. None of those things have happened to you. You're just not playing well. And so as a result, I think Bowman looks at it and says, all right, the solution is both in-house, but if I can make a move that tries to shore that up a little bit, I'm going to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if there's not a single transaction made, except for maybe selling between now and Friday for the Oilers. I would be very shocked.
And I mean, you could be losing Regula as well. So there's, speculation online that it could happen. Just quickly here, pairings of practice day: Nuge, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Kapanen, Frederick, Roslovic, Savoy, Lazar, Enrique, blank, and then Wallman, Bouchard, Nurse Emerson, Ekholm, Stastny. So
trying something else, at least at the skate.
Yeah. That's from Tony Brar. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more of your text, 1-833-401-1440. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, how about you give us your star winger for a bag of pucks? What if I throw in some Will Hawk beef jerky?
Yourself a trade. With Will Hawk Beef Jerky on their side, the Alberta teams definitely have an unfair advantage this trade deadline. Pick up some today and use it for trade leverage in your fantasy league.
No way, man. It's way too good.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win trades with salad.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit TitanSupply.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
call Legacy, call Legacy.
If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You haven't set your lineup yet, right? It's Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
It's 11:48. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor, Halley, Brandon Douglas, and Mackenzie the intern with you here. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Appreciate all the texts coming in here right now. We'll get to those in a second. I do want to let you know what's coming up next here on Sports 1440. It'll be the Lowdown with Lowtide. Alan Mitchell, Declan Kruger, and company. They'll be joined by Rachel Krychek. Take a look around the NHL and Jason Greger as well. And then from 2 to 6, it is the Jason Greger Show. We'll have former NHLer Sean Brown, of course, joining us for the first couple hours. I'll be joined by Howie Draper, the now former coach of the Pandas.
Wow, way to snake one of my favorite recurring guests that I absolutely was going to book probably tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to get Rose
Guess we'll have to
too.
save that for Friday.
The games we play. We'll also hear from Kevin Woodley of Ingle Magazine. Stat of the day. We got Spec. We're going to have James Hamlin on, Condors forward. Local product. Heck of an athlete. From what we've heard, like played soccer with Alfonso Davies, played football, now repping the Condors. Get his thoughts on some of the up and down that we've seen with the guys on the squad. And then Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Cam Tate was in the hospital for a while, got out on Friday, sent in a 2-minute warning. So happy to have that. And I mean, I don't know if he's going to venture in today, Duke. He might have to come in and go get a cold cut combo. No free. Yeah, they're not a client. No free advertising. But Tater's got a favorite sandwich artist down here in the food court, I think.
The best ever, he says.
Best cold cut.
Goat status.
I went to a place over the weekend. Got gift cards from Stingray. Chain Chinese food restaurant.
All right.
Pretty good. A lot of leftovers. We ordered like 4 dishes and then dessert, of course, and pulled out gift cards.
And you dined in?
Dined in, yeah. The Great Wall of Chocolate, I believe was the name of the cake.
Did it live up?
Oh my gosh, so good. I got dropped off and I was just trying to work my way through it. And the waitress said, "How is it?" I'm like, "It's a big piece." She's like, "Well, it is the Great Wall."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. What did you expect?
What did you expect? A little piece? Yeah, it's 2 meals essentially. Anyways, should be a fun day here on Sports 1440. I'll get back in the text box to wrap up the show. Jane Victoria says, "Said at the beginning of the year, the roster is not good enough. The signings have not worked out with no cap space. Stan made the bed, now it's to lie in it. At least my boy Pod Colson still working hard." Yeah, I mean, the roster, I think, it should be good enough to make the playoffs. Another run. I think that Central Division is going to be way too tough to get past. And, Vegas making moves, of course, but maybe not good enough to go back to the Cup. But when you have the 2 best players, or 2 of the best players in the world, I got to think you got to at least get back into the playoff picture. Some news here, just because I just noticed that Dean just tuned in. You guys talking politics or what? That was a while ago, but I did see that Premier Daniel Smith confirmed the province has put in a $15 million bid, or into the bid, to help bring the World Cup of Hockey to Edmonton and Calgary in 2028, Duke. So 2 world-class facilities. That's a good event. Now, is that where taxpayers want their money to go? That's neither for me or you to say, because everyone's going to have different opinions on that.
I'd have to be a taxpayer for that for me to have a say.
Oh, don't know yourself.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But that's some news and notes. And then also Commanders announcing that, telling Pro Bowl cornerback Marshawn Lattimore that they're going to release him before the new league year begins. So some things happening.
Such a bad trade when they acquired him.
What'd they give up? Do you remember?
I don't, and frankly, it doesn't matter because the Commander. I can admire and appreciate a team saying, "Hey, we kind of got lightning in a bottle a little bit this year. Our defense is obviously terrible. Let's bring somebody in to try and help it." But at this stage of his career, is Lattimore that guy to try and single-handedly buoy just a terrible defensive group? And then this past year, they somehow were even worse. And then you factor in the Jaden Daniels injuries and unavailability. Yeah, the Commanders, remember they played in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
Do we see them there again anytime soon?
I don't know. I thought everybody was so quick to crown Jaden Daniels.
Hey, talented, but we all know that duplicating rookie success is difficult. Just ask my boy CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
And he at least got back to the playoffs each of the next 2 years. Right now, if you ask me today, this is before free agency, before draft and anything, are the Commanders a playoff team next year? I immediately say no.
So was Lattimore in a 5th-round pick for a 3rd who turned into safety Jonas Sanker, a 4th-round pick who was a cornerback Quincy Riley, and a 6th-round pick who was traded out to the Saints by a defensive lineman, John Ridgway. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy, but yeah, it's more so just the direction.
Did I say Marshawn Lattimore or did I say Marcus?
I thought you said Marshawn.
Do you remember Marcus Lattimore?
I don't.
Former Gamecock. Ooh, heck of a player. Niners drafted him, but he blew up his knee. Helmet to the knee, like total bend back. Oh my goodness. I think he's coaching now, but man, he was a skilled player, Duke. And then that injury. Think like Willis McGahee, but unable to come back, like shredded the knee. MTR says I had so much hope for Lattimore. I think everybody was rooting for him with all he went through. The Rig says Daniels reminds me of how they handled RG3. Well, yeah, sending RG3 out. That was Shanahan sending him back out there on the field with a mangled up knee. That was silly. But they had Kirk Cousins waiting in the wings, I suppose, in case something went wrong. But yeah, that was never be rushing these guys back. Candace says early games today. Forsberg, Stamkos, 1.5 points plus. What do you think, Duke?
They're taking on the Red Wings. Noon puck drop. Stamkos playing some good hockey lately. Would I personally be betting this? No, because I think the Red Wings win this game. But if I had to pick one of those two, give me Stammer.
And when he helped that little girl,
Stammer to Mammer,
help that little girl walk to do the face-off drop.
Right,
adorable. Go with the vibes. Have Howard and Samantha been called up officially? Just saw them in Edmonton from Josh. Not that I've seen.
Well, I think to do that from a salary cap perspective, they'd need the other guys to clear first, right? Which is, I think, that finishes at noon.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Low tide will have you updated on that. So maybe if that happened. Josh out here breaking news. Boots on the ground. Lance says this team would be so much worse with $9 million sitting in the press box for months.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Who slides up and plays those minutes? And
then how do you replace the minutes that guy was playing? All with $9 million just tied behind your back.
If you were like, let's just say it's simple. You're Paul Coffey. What are you saying to Darnell Nurse?
I don't know. Like, apart from a cliche of like, dude, just keep it simple out there. Just play the game. Stop thinking too much. Like, does he need to just get another head knock? I don't know.
Knock on the helmet.
Because that was like the joke going back, right? And the celebration after he scored a goal, just the bang on his own head thing. I don't have an explanation or an answer, because we know he's much more capable than what we've seen, especially on Saturday. That was rough.
Yeah. And I mean, the frustration was there in post game. Getting back on home ice, maybe having that last change, you can put him in certain situations. We'll have to see. Anywho, that music means we are done right now. Well, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with intern Mackenzie, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go pay him a visit. Only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
6 games in the NHL tonight. Detroit and Nashville are about to be underway at Bridgestone Arena. Toronto looks to bounce back against Philly. Stars are in Vancouver. Kraken host the Hurricanes. Kings and Avalanche have the nightcap. 10 games in the association as well. Raptors tip off at 5:30 against the Knicks. Brooklyn is in Miami. OKC looks to make it 3 in a row in Chicago. Spurs are in Philly. Pelicans take on the Lakers. Suns and Kings have the late game. The MLB will expand its spring breakout of games involving top prospects in a tournament next year, when the big league exhibition schedule could be impacted by a possible lockout. In the NFL offseason, NFL Network Tom Pesarillo reports the Detroit Lions have traded running back David Montgomery to the Houston Texans for a 5th-round pick, splitting up their backfield duo of Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. The Texans have also agreed to a trade starting right tackle Titus Howard to the Cleveland Browns for a 5th-round draft pick. Howard will receive a 3-year, $63 million extension from the Browns. The trade cannot be finalized until the start of the new league year on March 11th. Next on Sports 1440, the Lowdown with Low Tide, Alan Mitchell, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick. I'm Mackenzie, and that's your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure? A great deal. Finance rates as low as 0%. Trade values you can be happy with. And an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street. Or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustained